Ladies and gentlemen, we're going live. Good afternoon or morning or wherever you're at, whatever it is, have a good one of those. I'm your host, Rod, my bud tender Rod. Go ahead and give a follow down there at the old Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. Keep yourself up to date on the local cannabis news. I obviously got a city that's not my city behind me. Well, it is my city, but I'm not there. This is Blunt Talk, brought to you by Smoke to Think On for Reno, Nevada. This morning's live stream is just a little rundown of cannabis news in this great state of Nevada. And frankly, a couple of articles from outside the great state just because they're cannabis related and pretty interesting. Coming up, we're going to talk about fraudulent delivery dispensaries that are popping up in Las Vegas, and shit, maybe there's a few here in this neck of the woods too, I don't know. And then we got a new cultivation that just opened up outside of Reno. Pretty cool. Some folks down in the government there are calling for more of this tax money, these fat tax stacks to go to the schools. Can't deny that's probably a good deal. They voted on cannabis lounges for Washoe County. Also, a popular beer brewing company is going to start infusing their products with some cannabis. That's pretty goddamn cool. Also, HP, computer company, is jumping into the cannabis market like any other good gold rush. They're building some shovels. It's pretty neat. And then there's some talk about a cannabis museum opening up in Vegas. I don't know what the hell a cannabis museum would consist of, but it sounds neat. And the downside to outdoor. Every now and again, you get a hermaph plant. This thing that people don't understand. When your guy is growing fucking 80 to 100 plants, in the middle of a field somewhere, if one catches a little hermaph and throws some seed out, you don't always catch it. It's a bummer. So that's my cannabis news. Found a seed in my blend. No fun. All right. So let's start with the fraudster delivery scene all over Vegas. This sweet little old lady ordered up some weed, Miss Morales at 68. She thought the order was coming in tomorrow morning. Turns out it was at her fucking hands, in her hands before she was ready for bed that night. Now, admittedly, she did get the right Gorilla Glue number 4 as expected. Turns out it was a little bit lesser quality than she was normally getting when she would go into Nevada Wellness. But what's really interesting and kind of amazing here is that these people are going on like Facebook and they're running an ad. Technical difficulties there, folks. So these people are going on like Facebook and they're running an ad claiming to be like, you know, if you're here in Reno, it'd be like you were claiming to be Sierra Wellness, right? Little old lady clicks on your ad on Facebook, goes to the website that you've designed that looks an awful lot like Sierra Wellness's actual website. She places an order, and you stroll up to her door. On the side of your car has got a sticker that says Sierra Wellness. You don't know any better. You have no way to know, I mean, essentially, that the people you're buying from are not actually Sierra Wellness, right? Now, I gotta be honest with you folks, on a personal level, I'm like, good for them. You know, if you're trying to get your hustle on out there and you found a way to siphon up some of this legal market without having to pay all the extra bullshit, and you're willing to take the risk of prison, hey, good for you. Keep it up. As long as you're offering quality products to customers at a affordable, fair price, go ahead and undercut the stores. Have a fucking good time doing it. Now, as a bud tender, I realize that's counterproductive for me. I should be like, oh, don't go to the black market. Come and spend a lot of money at my store. And admittedly, I would prefer you do that and tip. I prefer that you tip me also. I, however, am not a criminal. I'm not an underground or black market dealer. So, you know, I don't have the desire to go forth and risk my future for that. So, you know, somebody's got to do it, I guess is what I'm really coming down to here. And the only way that the stores are going to bring down their prices to an affordable fucking price for weed is if they have real competition. And in this particular industry, the real competition is coming from the black market. I mean, why spend $65 an eighth and pay the tax man when cousin Billy from Humboldt can kick you a pound for $800 every day of the week from October till February? Why would you? Why would you? Now, the stores are surviving because not everybody's got a cousin Billy or fucking buys weed by the pound, right? But you understand my point. You see where I'm coming from. Why pay $490 for an ounce when you can pay $100 for an ounce? It's just basic fucking math, right? So, at the same time, why wouldn't these guys who are out there just trying to sell bags pose as a legit company? Why not? That's fucking smart. If I was a criminal, I would do it. I'm not a criminal, so I'm not going to do it. But if I were, that's how I would do it. It's frankly real goddamn smart. I'm pretty impressed. But the law says that they've shut down like... Shit, I just missed it. There's been like 100 of them or something like that they shut down since 2015 or 2017. Fifty of these illegal delivery services have been shut down just in 2017 alone. Which, if you think about it, is pretty impressive, considering there's only 60 dispensaries in the entire state, that in Vegas in 2017 alone, they managed to shut down 50 fraudulent delivery services. One of them said, excuse me, all right, sorry about that little coughing fit. 50 of these places have been shut down since 2017, and some of them had as many as 10 employees. I'm just saying, if you haven't figured it out yet, folks, the internet is even changing the trap. Which is kind of cool, admittedly. It's neat to see things get a little bit more clean and sterile in terms of the crime. Let's see here. What else have we got coming on? Oh, yep. And So we got the new MedMen grow facility, a 45,000 square foot, $15 million operation, just outside Mustang. I'm not going to play the video because I'm not looking for a copyright strike even from the local news, but it's a pretty goddamn cool looking facility.
To change the way Nevada's marijuana.
That's a goddamn big ass building. I think we can all agree. Let's kill the audio. So it's all high tech. It's real clean and real sterile. It's kind of a step up from HSH. Good folks at High Sierra are well, they grow great weed. Their tour did not look like this. That's for goddamn sure. There's a broom in the ting, folks. That's a fact. Broom in the ting. I'm not talking shit, just telling the truth. Fucking broom in the ting. So that's pretty interesting. A new grow facility. Apparently they plan to be able to pump out 10,000 pounds. They can hold 25,000 plants in that facility. Looking to pull 10,000 pounds a year out of that building. That's amazing. Scaling up, folks. What's really cool about this, of course, in my opinion, is the more cultivators, the more cultivated, prices can come down. That's how it works, folks. Prices come down when cultivators expand. The more weed you have, the less you have to sell it for per pound, the less it has to be sold to the guy by per eighth. This is a sign that that's what's coming in the future for the state of Nevada. Now, they're not alone. MedMen's not the only one setting up shop here. There's other cultivators being set up right now. I had a friend of mine whose family is investing in a cultivation that's about to pop up. And they're looking for some consultation. Very neat. Very neat time to both be alive and in this particular state. Wow. I've lived now in 4, at least for me, legal states. States that either had reciprocity, or I had my medical card in, or it's just legal. Nevada does it best, process-wise. No other state in the union has the kind of testing that we require. Your capacity for knowledge about how a specific batch of a specific strain is going to feel, you really only get here. You know, a buddy of mine went to Colorado last week, was telling me he went to the dispensary, and he kept asking the guy, like, how's this batch? You know, like, what's this batch going to feel like? And the guy was telling him, well, you know, like, this is a cross between Blue Dream and a OG Kush, and so it should be, you know, mellow with a little bit of a heavy body high at the end, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean shit, okay? And this is something that you only know if you've been in the state of Nevada working in bud tending. A strain is a rule of averages. Usually this strain is going to feel this way. However, every fucking batch is different. Every batch is different. I got Blue Dream on the shelf. One day, that's real high in myrcene. I'm talking 8-9 milligrams per gram. Instant eye droop kind of feel. And then, shit, on the same shelf by a different cultivator, I got a batch of Blue Dream with 3 milligrams of myrcene and a bunch of fucking limonene. Real peppy shit. Same plant, or same strain, different pheno, different batch, different fucking effect. You don't get that in all the other states. So it's very neat to see the growth here in the state of Nevada because, like I said, I mean, $15 million and 45,000 square feet for a facility that can house 25,000 plants and produce 10,000 pounds a year. How exciting is that? Nevada, being, in my opinion, the state that does it best, is booming. It's growing. It's getting bigger and faster. I mean, if you think about it, we really only have like 2 cities in the whole fucking state, right? We got Reno, Sparks, and Vegas. I realize there are other cities pocketed, but if you were to ask anyone else in the world about the state of Nevada, no one's talking about Ely. Sorry, folks. Just a fact. It's nothing, you know, not coming down on the folks at Ely. I'm just saying. People in New York City have heard of Reno. They've heard of fucking Vegas. You say, I'm from Ely, Nevada. They're going to be like, is that near Reno or Vegas? And you can say, no, it's way on the other side of the state, near neither of them. Oh, I forgot that existed. I thought it was just all desert. So I'm saying is basically 2 cities are making the kind of money other states are making. So a new grow facility is definitely good news. It's a positive piece of news for the cannabis industry, especially in this fine state. Moving on, Serger Bloom and Lois Tarkanian, did they have to get the 2 senators from Nevada with the hardest pronounced last names for this shit? I guess so. We expected 13 million in the first 7 months, and we pulled 23 million in the first 7 months. Just tax revenue, folks. So these guys are crybaby wine ass and saying they need to have a special session, blah, 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 get more of this tax money into the schools. Now, according to the frequently asked questions on the State Board of Taxation's website, who runs things for the state of Nevada in terms of cannabis, the majority of our fund, our taxes, is going into what's called the Rainy Day Fund. I can't imagine why we can't pull some Rainy Day Fund in for schools. I happen to agree with these guys on this one. I don't think that's such a bad idea, putting money from cannabis into education. Just a thought. Maybe I don't know, buy some books or like tablets, or I don't know, just some shit students could use. Maybe help these teachers with pens and pencils. We've all heard the struggle. Hey, how about we give the teachers a raise? Yeah, there's an idea. I know this is going to baffle everybody to consider, but maybe, just maybe, the guy who gave you your fake tits should not make more than the guy who is responsible for educating your kids. Maybe a raise. Just a thought. Maybe we could put some of this money into bettering the lives of those who are bettering our future. I don't know. I'm a fucking innovator, folks. It's cost me jobs. People don't always like the innovator. It's just truth. But it's good news. It's good that people are getting up in arms and, you know, saying, hey, we need fucking money for school districts. Let's make this marijuana tax work to our benefit. I don't think that's asking too much, folks. Washoe County commissioners discuss cannabis lounges. And unfortunately, this says it all right here. I'm fucking tragically disappointed to tell you people that still, the lack of any real hard science on the effects of cannabis use and driving is keeping us from having somewhere to sit and smoke in peace. Oh, it's totally legit to roll into any of Reno's 1,000 bars and get fucking hammered fist fight, beat your wife, fuck a stranger, crash a car drunk. No big deal. Bars should stay open. But a cannabis lounge? Somewhere where somebody could get so high that they drive home at 25 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone? Fuck that. 3-2. 3-2 voted no. We just don't have any way to determine how high somebody is. How about we hold people to a good old-fashioned rule of accountability? How about some personal fucking responsibility? If you get too high and you crash your fucking car, you go to jail. If you get too high and you're swerving erratically and driving clearly impaired, you go to jail. If you get pulled over because your fucking brake light was out and your jacket smells faintly of reefer, you should leave you the fuck alone. Give you your ticket and send you on your way. Why is this hard, folks? How can people make shit way more complicated than necessary? I just don't understand that part. And it pisses me off because I would like to open a cannabis lounge. That's something that I would like to do. I have some opportunities to do so if we could just get this fucking shit passed. Because, I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you could roll into a joint and order a fucking nice, fat, tasty blunt and smoke that in a circle with your friends while sipping on a glass of wine and fucking, I don't know, pairing it with chocolate or something? I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of cool shit we could be doing. But we're not. Because the fucking man can't figure out how to get his head out of his ass long enough to think logically. And you would think I wouldn't be asking for too much there. But yeah, that's the basic gist of that. They basically say, you know, the one argument is like, you know, we need it, especially for tourists. You know, like you come here from New York or Chicago and all you want to do is smoke some legal weed, and you buy your weed from me at the dispensary, and then you ask me, hey, where can I smoke this? And the legal, legit answer is nowhere, buddy. You're here from out of town on business, you don't know anybody, you nowhere. You can't smoke it anywhere. Legally, you can't smoke it at your hotel. You can't smoke it on a patio at a bar where everybody else is smoking their cigarettes. You can't smoke it anywhere, bruv. You can only smoke it in a private residence. My suggestions: make a friend. To be fair, I just tell them to go to Midtown and smoke on any patio, any bar's patio where people are smoking cigarettes. And 9 times out of 10, no one's going to fuck with you or hassle you. Reason being is because most people don't give a shit about a couple of stoners enjoying a fine conversation and a little bit of reefer. But legally speaking, there's nowhere for them to go. And then so Von Hartung says, I just don't know how it's going to impact us. It's going to raise tax revenue, business licenses. It's a serious lack of imagination in our government, folks. That's all I can say. That's my observation. A serious lack of imagination. And it's disappointing. Truly disappointing to think that something that was such an obvious problem is still not solved. I mean, part of what we were able to do with this cannabis law is generate... Oh, God damn it. Did I just lose my camera? No, just the mouse. While disappointing, not the end of the world. Okay. Still, no mouse. Okay. It just seems like, as a state that's very dependent on tourism, at least towns like Vegas and Reno, that this simple fucking problem wouldn't have already been solved. It's just baffling to me, you know? This seems like something that we would have tackled before legalizing. It would have been part of the legislation. Where are all the tourists going to smoke? I mean, like, you would have thought it would have definitely at very least been somewhere in the legislation, like what do you call it? Like a bylaw or a rider that says, you know, the casinos at their discretion can allow cannabis use. You know, so like if the casino decides they want to let you smoke a joint on their property, then they can. But not even that. I just don't understand why something so simple hasn't been solved. I just don't get it, folks. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. What are you gonna do? You know? That's the world we live in. Alright, so we got more news coming, don't worry, folks. I'm just setting up a cut screen here real quick, because I do believe it is time for a brief intermission. I'll keep rapping though. I really just don't understand it. Cannabis, the way people think about cannabis, both in legislation and government and just in general. You know, I think people are smart enough to try something for themselves and assess how does this affect them. No one truly believes, while sober, that they're good drunk driving. They might brag about it. They might act like they're the badass of the group and that they can handle it. But everyone knows deep down in their heart and soul of heart and souls that when it comes to smoking or drinking, it physiologically impairs your capacity to operate machinery. Sometimes sitting can be difficult. People have trouble just sitting down when they're too drunk. Anything that impairs your capacity to take a seat is objectively not okay to drive on. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have the right physiology for it. I'm not a fucking toaster scientist, but I will say I've never been so high I couldn't sit down physically. I mean, maybe I've been so high that if I sat down I'd get anxious, but like physiologically, I was capable of sitting had I felt the need to do so or the desire to do so. Never been too drunk or too high to sit. As far as driving a car is concerned, I'm personally a student of Bill Hicks. I think driving and smoking should not only be legal, but should be mandatory. Half these fucking people in this country could definitely use a couple of puffs behind the wheel. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm a madman. Maybe. I know I am, in fact. I'm definitely quantifiably a madman, but that does not negate the fact that driving and smoking should definitely be mandatory. I'll tell you that right now. Who am I kidding? I live in Reno. Anybody who lives in this particular town who did not learn to drive here fucking hates driving with you people, just so you know, okay? I bring this up because I'm sitting here thinking about if you guys were all mandatorily driving and smoking, no one would ever fucking get on the intersection. People would come to complete stops before getting onto the interstate, at the on-ramp on the interstate. No one would do it. As of now, people crawl onto the interstate at about 43 fucking miles an hour. Cars next to them doing 80. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm behind you. I'm that guy who's like, vroom! tearing ass behind you and to your left because you're fucking not going fast enough for life. For life. So I'm just thinking maybe not mandatory, but definitely allowed. You know, maybe smoking and driving should be allowed. I'd like to say mandatory, but fuck. I have to be places, people. You know, like, I just do. I have to get where I'm going. I'm not a big fan of physically traveling. I like going from place to place, but the journey, fuck the journey. I'm about the destination. You know what I'm saying? Like, life's a journey, and enjoy it. Don't worry about the destination. True. But if I'm fucking going somewhere, it's about the destination. You know? So if I'm cruising, trying to get on 80 and head my ass over to Santa Cruz so I could kick back on the beach, smoke a fatty, I don't need you getting on 80 at 32 fucking miles an hour, fucking up my game. You know? So I take it back. Maybe not everybody should be required to smoke and drive, but allowed to if, you know, they feel like they can drive like a fucking human being while doing it. But nonetheless, this issue of driving and smoking, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I've been smoking longer than I've been driving. And I'm pretty sure I don't, since I've been a medical patient especially, I don't know of a single time that I haven't been a little high, driving at fucking 90 miles an hour, clipping right along with the rest of you, not a fucking soul on the road thinking to themselves, this fucking high on. Just saying, you always know the drunk guy driving in front of you, don't you? I do. I always do. I know him. I see him and I'm just like, look at this drunk motherfucker, about ready to kill everybody in sight. Who the fuck does this guy think he is, you know? That's what I feel like. All right. That was a good digression. Good digression. We'll get back to some news and shit, though. I'm all about that news. Yay, my mouse came back. How exciting. Sweet. So no cannabis lounges anytime soon. That's some bullshit, but they're going to have to vote it on again. The motion failed, which means staff will not be directed to establish considerations for marijuana consumption. The commission will have closed door on cannabis consumption lounges. They want to revisit in the future. Well, folks, you better get to revisiting real fucking quick, because I really want to get high in public, and I think this is bullshit. Next up, Blue Moon's new brewer is launching Blue Moon's brewer is launching a new marijuana-infused beer over there in Denver. That's awesome. 3 different drinks, and promise intoxication without the alcoholic headache. How cool is that? Don't give a shit about any of that other stuff. What is this? What is this ad bullshit doing here? What the fuck is this? What is this shit, Reno Gazette? What is this shit? Really? Well, fuck them. Think they got a moratorium on it? Check that out, bitches. I don't do that answer my silly questions bullshit to read my news article. Fuck that. Figure it out. Got THC on tap. Blue Moon creator plans to brew new beer with weed instead of alcohol. Excellent. Planning weed-based beverages containing marijuana formulas intended to give it buzz without containing alcohol. hybrid debut in 2018 in Colorado, first state to legalize. Then it's coming to California next. Won't be the first major brewer. Villa's new company, Sierra. Interesting. This is fucking crazy, guys. Do y'all see the advertisement bullshit that I have to deal with here? This is insane. Ooh, this is some cool stuff. Let's take a fucking jump down the rabbit hole, folks. T-Check Me. Check your flower or concentrate for THC with an app. A new era of testing. T-Check 2. Infusions, flowers, concentrates from anywhere. Please, tell me more. Okay, so we don't need the music, because that's what usually gets you busted first and foremost. T-Check, awesome. So it's just a little Bluetooth device, I assume. Interesting. THC, measurement units, log your potency, calculate your edible dose. So it's not giving us the full spectrum, but that's fucking neat. And how do you buy it? How much does it cost? Is it even available yet? Because that's another classic one on these things. You find a cool product and it's like, yeah, we're going to make this someday. It's a really cool idea. What the fuck, USB? What is going on? My USB world is a little fucked right now, folks. Breakdown, subscription. Let's see what a 3-month one is. Call it white. Don't care. Order now. How much? $271. Not bad. All right, so T-Check is a at-home DIY cannabinoid tester. This is great. Every every black market dealer, okay, watching this, you need to go to tcheck.me and order this fucking machine. Because right now, the biggest thing you guys have to deal with in terms of your competition is the fact that when you walk into my store, I can tell you the THC content. Now granted, like I said, in Nevada, I can also tell you its top 3 terpenes and give you a really good, accurate description of how it's going to make you feel. From the looks of it, T-Check at the moment is not providing a full spectrum breakdown, but hey, just knowing your THC is going to give you a leg up amongst the other guys. And that's pretty goddamn cool. So, not really news as much as just neat cannabis stuff. That's just a neat cannabis testing device. And $271, I mean, fuck, that is really not a bad. Takes about 8 weeks to get it. That's not a bad deal. Under $300 to test your own THC contents. I think that's neat. I think that is a neat thing. I think if you're a connoisseur smoker and you want to double check what you're buying at the stores, you should buy that product as well. That's neat as fuck. Let's see, what else are we working with now? Yep, we switched it. Good. Computers to cannabis. HP jumps into the marijuana industry. So the HP, I'm bringing this up because if there's any investors out there, I got to imagine HP diving into the cannabis market, which is about to catch the country on fire, is probably a good place to put a couple of your bones. When companies like HP or Microsoft decide that they're going to put their feet into a new burgeoning industry, it usually means a little bit of a boost for them overall in the economy. So that's just a neat thing to know. HP announced Wednesday it's going to be packaging a point-of-sale elite POS hardware with cannabis-compliant software from FlowHub. Interesting. I don't know much about FlowHub, but more than likely it's similar to MJ Freeway or BioTrack, which are going to be the software that most dispensaries these days are using to keep track of inventory, customer sales records, customer database records, things like that. So if HP is going to be packaging hardware with this software in it, it will likely sell, because HP has the kind of money for quality assurance that maybe companies like FlowHub don't have. So the biggest problem right now with cannabis point of sales is that it's designed by computer software engineers for the cannabis market. However, the rules and regulations and other elements of this business that affect how the actual point of sale process works changes so rapidly that a lot of times when they do updates to the software, there's not enough time for bug checking, and bugs just get missed. And errors get found by the dispensary bud tender, who's now got a fucking half-gram pre-roll that's ringing up for $280 and is listed as 2 pounds worth of product. Okay, that's usually speaking, that's an internal error, a conflict somewhere in the database. Shit is getting flipped around or switched. Somewhere in the code, a decimal's moved over, or it should have been a negative number or something. Who knows? And it doesn't happen all the time, but it's occasional. Sometimes people fuck up putting stuff in, but I'm just using that as an example. That happened to us, and it had literally just been inputted, and it was just an error. Just an error. Nobody else rang up that way, just mine rang up that way, just the one time. Just an error. So once a company like HP gets a hold of this software and is able to actually run it through its own quality assurance process, those bugs are going to be found. You can mark my words today. The elite POS hardware with FlowHub cannabis compliant software, that's what you're going to start to see in the dispensaries over the next year or two as this shit gets pushed on. Starts, obviously it's going to start in Denver, but near Colorado, that'll spread. You'll see it. Bud tenders out there watching, mark my words, you know I'm right. Because anybody out there that's used MJ Freeway or BioTrack knows the fucking the perils of poorly designed cannabis point of sale software. Or I shouldn't even say poorly designed. I should just say under-tested. Because frankly, for what it's doing, I have to give both MJ Freeway and BioTrack significant credit. They are actually marvels of computer engineering. The fact that the companies involved in making them are not yet big enough or concerned enough, maybe, I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt that it's an issue of time and money. Not a lack of concern, but you never know. It's not their fault necessarily if they don't have that kind of time and money, you know. So let's see what happens when HP gets a hold of it, because I think that you'll see that I'm right. I think that's going to be a big problem solver. Very neat news. All right, and bam, Cannabis Museum to open in July in downtown Las Vegas. Admittedly, I read through this, and it is kind of neat what's happening there, but the gist of it is this. In July, they're going to open a big-ass building at 450 Fremont in Las Vegas. And it's going to be a $4.20 ticket price for anybody 21 and older. There's going to be a 360-degree theater opening at cannabis. I don't know what that means. There's a 22-foot glass bong that you can't smoke that's there. I'll be honest with you. This is technically Nevada cannabis news, but I'm still a little bit having trouble wrapping my head around the function of this place. We'll keep updated on it though. I'll keep this one in the tell me more about it phase, because maybe it'll be really neat. I mean, I just can't imagine like a museum. Like, what are you gonna do at the cannabis museum? What are you gonna display? I really am not sure. What one might display there, I don't know. This industry is in crisis. High taxes, black market, threatened pot business. No, not really. Well, okay, this comes from Sacramento, California. Okay, maybe, maybe a little bit, maybe just a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was talking about this yesterday, but it's still true today. The problem that California's high taxes and high cost in stores for cannabis is the same problem that they had during the medical era. When I was a medical patient, I rarely bought flour from a dispensary. Very rarely. I mean, almost never. I almost always met or had somebody in my circle who was a medical cannabis grower with excess cannabis. As a medical patient in California, I went to dispensaries for concentrates, for edibles, and a taste test. If I saw like a strain that I'd never tasted before and I thought, oh, I want to know what that's all about, I'd run in there and pick up a gram, begrudgingly for 20 bucks. So now that it's in this level that it's in now, this recreational market, most people since like 96 in the state of California have been getting their weed from a friend or a grower and have no interest in spending $50, $60 on an eighth. People used to come through my line every day and say, $65 for an eighth? For an eighth? Fuck it, man. What kind of pre-rolls do you got? I'm going home tomorrow. I ain't looking to spend that kind of money. Oh, where are you from? Sacramento. Right? I know, man. I know. That's what I'd say. I'd be like, I know. I used to live in Sac too. $50 half ounces down on 13th Street. C and 13th. North Star Collective. One of my favorite dispensaries of all time. All day, any day. Half ounces, 50 bucks outdoor. Indica or sativa, whichever you like. Maybe one of each. Limit, I believe, was a quarter pound. You could get 4 of them. Maybe it was 2 ounces. I don't remember. Point is that yes, California, you get weed a lot cheaper. Everybody's got it. Everybody's growing it. So why would people go and spend too much money in the stores? I mean, fuck, Reno's dispensaries suffer from this, is what I'm telling you guys, okay? I lose out on sales because California's black market is so cheap. But it does crack me up because all of these people in California's government seem genuinely surprised by this problem. We're not making as much in tax revenue as we expected. 23% tax. We thought they'd pay. Are you on fucking drugs? I walk into a store, pick out an eighth that's listed at 35 bucks, and they ask me for 49. I'm going to say, no, thank you. I'm going to go see Cousin Billy. He'll give me an ounce for 50 bucks. Tops. It's just like, who are y'all fucking kidding? Now, granted, in the state of Nevada, it's a little different game. Part of that is our tourist industry. Part of that is the people coming in from Chicago who every time they fly in spend $400 each at the weed store. They always max out. Always. Yeah, I'm gonna need as many cartridges as you can legally sell me, sir. Not a problem, bruv. Thank you. All right. That's the news for today. I got a little bit more weed to smoke, so I just want to talk to the audience a bit. Looking like this particular format, covering specifically weed news, is definitely seems to be what people are more interested in. So I'm definitely going to be pushing more towards that. Excuse me. I've been doing live streams and pulling about maybe 1 or 2 views occasionally on each stream. I've only been doing this for a minute. And considering I'm doing absolutely zero advertising, I'm not posting or doing anything like particularly strong in that respect. Why does it say offline? The stream is most certainly not offline. Weird. I'm not going through the VPN either. Shit, what's going on? Okay, it is live. All right. That's weird. I'm like, why is it telling me we're offline? Anyway, yesterday's live stream, when we did the just the weed news, immediately went to seven views, and like 13 minutes combined watch time, which is, considering the day before stream, we had like no views and no combined watch time. That's a market jump, so that's cool. It's cool to see that it's bumped up by quite a percentage. Now, at this point, I don't have enough demographics to determine whether or not my audience is local or, you know, regional or anything like that. So in that respect, please do leave comments below. Just, you know, you don't even got to put what state or city you're from. Just put what state you're from. Or even just put legal state, not legal state. You know, you don't even have to be that specific. I'm not looking to dox anybody. I just want to know roughly where the audience is. I'm in the state of Nevada. It seems easiest for me to be able to do Nevada stuff. So that's what I'm doing. We're going to do live streams in the morning, just kicking around, doing, you know, state of Nevada cannabis news, and then probably a little bit branch out for, you know, cannabis news in general. Excuse me. But I think it's a pretty good direction that we're going. I'm going to give anybody who's made it this far a little heads up. We are also going to be doing some bud tender education videos. I'm going to simulcast those with this, and also on its own channel, which I'll urge you to go to when that's up and running. It's going to be a Better Bud Tender Now. That's be a better bud tender now. Say it one time fast, I dare you. It's impossible. Be a better bud tender now. And that's going to be kind of a launch pad for a new project that I'm working on. We're going to do general education, cannabis education. That's going to be free. That's going to be on Instagram. That's going to be on YouTube. You know, you want to be a bud tender? You want to have the tools and the education? You want to know what it takes? Be a better bud tender now. We're going to give you the info for that. Of course, that's also, like I said, it's a launch pad for a little consulting firm I'm starting. If you're already a bud tender, keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to be posting dates, doing a little tour, a little consulting tour. Probably be like $100 a head, not real expensive. If you're not already pulling $100 a night in your tip jar, then you're going to want to be a part of this program, because I pull that every night. Tuesday nights are slow night, I don't care. $100. Often more. My average is $135. That's what I usually take home. Sometimes I take home $220. Sometimes I just take home $100. The only time I take home less than $100 in tips is when I go home early. When I go home after lunch, or before the 7:30 pre-roll hour. So I know what I'm talking about. I got a homeboy who's working on this project with me. Him and I developed a system to increase not just our tip rate, but everybody else's tip rate on top of our general drop banks, or our bank drops. You want to make more money for your company. You want to become an asset. You want to become irreplaceable. That's what we do. That's what we generate. That's what we cultivate. So be a better bud tender now. Keep your eyes peeled for it. It's coming. I just started the website yesterday. Bought the domain, 99 cents. It's already worth 117. Why? Because it's a good fucking idea. And GoDaddy's algorithm knows it. Knows it. So check that out on Instagram. Be a better bud tender now. Right now I just got a couple of flashy posts. Nothing big, but you know. So thanks for tuning in. This is Blunt Talk Live. I'm your host, Rod, my bud tender Rod. Follow down there. And if you're a Reno local, please do leave comments in the comments below. I'm looking for other people to collaborate with as well, other locals who are in the weed scene and want to do some interesting stuff. I got a couple of dollars and change on me today. I'm going to go through and spend some money at some other stores. I might do a full-on dispensary review. We'll see. But probably just a strain review coming up today. Probably just a strain review. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Again, tune in every morning, roughly 9 or 10-ish. I don't really have a set schedule. And that's for two reasons. One, because at the moment, I'm not holding an immediate live audience. You know what I mean? Like, people come in and they come out. But also because that's the beauty of live stream and podcast and things like that. You can actually, I should simulcast this. I should simulcast this with Anchor. That's so doable. Bing! So, anyway, folks, thanks again. I'm going to sign off. And, look, I genuinely don't have a plan for the rest of my day. I got the day off, as they say. I am unencumbered. Fucking A.